I was watching this movie called Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Yeah.
at the end, there's like the scene. I think it was in the first one. It's like Thanos. He's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and he gets the glove, and it just popped in my head. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do it real quick,"
Yeah.
and that's where it really like sprung from. I was like, "Yo, let me do this," and I literally the same day I got on my computer, I made the piece.
So now we are live. Well, the first thing I wanted to ask you was, who are you?
My name is obviously KXNG, but you guys call me King. You know, I'm born in Pakistan, but I moved here at a very young age. You know, I moved to Scotland, Glasgow, and you know, been here ever since. But I moved to London like a few years ago, like 2011. And, you know, been living in London for the last few years, so you know.
Okay, got it. But what got you into art or graphic design?
Well, you know, I was always like messing around on Photoshop when I was back in high school, and you know, I was always like smooth with it. So you know, man, I stopped doing it for like a little bit, for like a couple of years. Actually, I didn't really touch it. Like I would touch it here and then, but then, 2020 and the pandemic hit, and you know, I was just bored inside. I'm like, what's there to do? And you know, I was like, fuck it, let me just open up Photoshop, and you know, I just started making some art, and from that, you know, I transitioned to like more, you know, handmade art, and you know, I think it's very like amazing. Like you know, like I love doing art now, and you know, I never had like an artistic background, but you know, I think my eye for you know the eye for art was always there for me because you know I've always been interested in you know these artists like Basquiat, you know, Banksy.
It's
Those guys.
it's quite good that you mentioned the name because I wanted to ask you who was or maybe still is your inspiration for your work.
Inspiration, you know, to be honest, like I don't really have like in terms of like for my art, I don't really. To be honest, there's so many. Like I can't really pinpoint one like this. Like I can't even like think of them because I look through books and you know that's where I get my inspirations from. In terms of like you know creating like just creating artists like you know those guys like Basquiat, you know Virgil Abloh, you know Banksy, you know all the great artists like you know like Kanye for example. He's a great artist. You know he inspires me to just really create stuff. You know.
Yeah, I got it. So basically, you are not inspired by a certain individual, but rather the work you kind of see in books and all of that, right?
Yeah, pretty much honestly, like you know, I just scroll through like stuff from the past, you know, and just like see stuff like you know, I think that I could really like you know maybe use and like flip it in my own way and
Yeah.
not necessarily because I don't really like to stick to one artist. Like I don't really like dive into like an artist's like whole discography. I just look for like bunch of artists like
Yeah,
like 1,000.
because you kind of get to sick of that certain artist at a point since you only look at his or their work all the time.
Yeah, that's you know I feel like you should obviously have just look at like the most work possible, and I think that really helps with you like finding your own style. And
Yeah, of
I think
course.
and I think that's where you know that's how I've really done it. You know that's how I got to this point. You know now like a distinct style. If you look at my page, you know you can see it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you told me about the inspiration and the fact that you don't stick to only one individual or only one thing. Now, I want to ask you, what's it like getting reposted on pages like a Plastic Plant or Genius? How does that make you feel seeing your work like being reposted on huge pages and also your work getting some more recognition?
Honestly, it just feels super great because you know like I used to like want to like get on these pages and now it's like now it's just like it feels like not real. Like for example, I got posted by a Complex. I think that was the biggest page I got posted.
Yeah, and Complex too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know those guys. I've been following those guys for years since I was back in like high school. And you know, I was like when I first got into art, I was like, I hope I get posted by Complex someday. And you know, 2021, was one of my goals to get posted by Complex, and and like all the other pages, and my year in 2021 was a bit slow, and but I made it, and Complex posted me, and it brought so many opportunities. Getting posted by those pages are like big opportunities because they bring a lot of traction onto you and bring a lot of eyes, and it's
Of
just
course.
it's like the best because you get so many. It changes your life. I'd say, to be honest, it changes your life because I've gotten so many big opportunities, massive opportunities, just be posted. People don't understand.
Yeah, well, you kind of spoke it into existence with your wish to be posted on Complex.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, now the typography pieces, like, what's the story behind those? And also, besides that, how can I describe those? The 3D handmade
3D
posters.
comic books.
Yeah,
3D comic books.
yeah. What's the story behind those? And also, can you tell me what's your favorite piece you made?
Sure. But the story behind. I'm gonna talk about the typographies first. The story behind those. Honestly, I was going through like Amazon Prime, just like this, like where you can like, watch movies, like a streaming service, and I saw this movie poster, and it was like for an old movie. I'm like, it was quite similar to that, but it wasn't like really similar. It was just like custom like text or like font, whatever, and it really inspired me. So was in the back of my mind for like the last past thing, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
thought like, and I kept thinking of it, and I went on my computer, and I just searched up, just like typography, and it really like inspired me, and I saw so many art, and I tried to search up like something like made on like hip hop, rap, stuff like that, and to my surprise, nothing really came up. I was like, how has no one really done this before? And I was like, and I sat with the idea for a few days, and I was watching this movie called Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Yeah.
at, at the end, there's like the scene. I think it was in the first one. It's like Thanos. He's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and he gets the glove, and it just popped in my head. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do it real quick,"
Yeah.
and and that's where it really like broke from me. I was like, "Yo, let me do this," and I literally the same day I got on my computer, I made the piece, and it blew up on my page. I was like, I don't even know how. Like, it just felt weird. Like, it blew up straight away. It got like over, I think it was like 12,000 likes or something, and that was
Whoa.
super exciting.
Whoa.
And, all the typography pieces, I'm grateful. They've been really successful. Obviously getting posted by Complex, and over like 20,000 people, like 18,000, like 10,000 likes on like most of them, and I don't even know. That's super. It just feels super like surreal, and it
Yeah.
kind of does put like a little bit of pressure on me. I don't really care about likes, but there's so many eyes, watching you, and it's just, but
Yeah. Well, what was the average like ratio before posting those? Like, what how many likes would you get on your other work?
honestly, I would get around like 500,
Whoa. So
1,000.
that's a huge difference.
Yeah, no, it's huge difference, and 500. I would just get like 1,000, 500. It usually be like around like average like 700, 800. So
Yeah.
huge difference, and I was kind of like, I didn't expect these like to blow up because I
Yeah.
feel like I wasn't really confident about, for example, one of the pieces I made, I think it was the Mac Miller one, which is the biggest piece. It got the most traction, and it's been the most like bestseller on my website as well. Like it got like over like 20,000, and I nearly never really posted. I was literally not about to post that, and
Whoa.
I'm glad I did. And
Yeah. You should be glad you did,
yeah,
especially with that the traction you got on your website with the clothes. Yeah.
yeah.
So, what would be your favorite piece that you made?
Favorite piece, honestly, is super hard to like. I don't know. All my pieces are like, I don't know. Well, also I wanna like, before I say my favorite piece, I actually wanna talk about my 3D comic book covers because I didn't touch up on that. But
Yeah.
3D comic book covers. Basically, I saw like something like that like a while ago. I didn't see like that concept, but I saw like some 3D like books or whatever, and I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. And I love comics, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe I could do something like that. And I just took like a few a couple actually like covers, and I'm like, let me try and like make these 3D and like make them pop out, and it was super hard. It took over like a week to make one piece, like,
Wow.
and I spent like 10 hours a day literally cutting up pieces, gluing them together, like, and a lot of times they would just fall apart because the structure would be.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of time. It was definitely a lot of stress that was put into it, but I think obviously the result was amazing, and I definitely want to do some more, but it's just a bit time consuming, and I have so many other projects going on. But yeah, that's pretty much about the 3D comic book covers. But I'd say my favorite piece, honestly, it's probably the Mac Miller piece I done, because he was such a like amazing artist, and I remember like hearing him back in like 2009 or 10. He was like, I heard like his one of his first songs, and I've been listening since then. When he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
I was literally listening to his song literally at the time, and I opened up Twitter, and Mac Miller passed away at age, I don't remember what age, 27 or 6 or
Yeah,
something.
27 or something like that. Yeah.
So I was like, what? And I was literally listening to I think it was Self Care at that exact moment, and I was like, damn, that sucks so bad. His music really helped me. I think I done a really good job of like portraying my favorite albums by him, and I think that's definitely my favorite piece, and everyone thinks that's my favorite piece too, and like I think everyone thinks that's like my best piece as well, and I think it just hits, the composition,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the, the letters, like how I used I think it was the swimming cover and I made it into an A, and the C. The C is just,
Yeah. 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 I kind of see that.
yeah, the C was absolutely crazy, and
Yeah, I think that's a good way to good sort of tribute to his work and the impact that he had on our generation, to say the least, with his
yeah,
music and how he was as a person. Well,
yeah,
when it comes to art, on which one do you focus more, quality or quantity?
quality, 100%. Like honestly, quality is more important than me, than quantity. Like, for example, I don't really like put out too many pieces a week or a month. Like, when to be honest, like if you're lucky, you would probably get like 2 to 4 pieces a month from me. And, the typography pieces, I made those like over the span of weeks, and when I started releasing them, because they were already ready, and I think now that those already like out, now like if I'm making a new piece, I take my time with it, and I try a lot of different things. It's more about quality, making sure like if things look good to me, and it's like, and it looks good to me, most importantly, like I don't really think about like anything else. I make sure it looks amazing to me and nothing else really. So quality is definitely
Yeah, I
100% the
feel
most
like
important.
if you look at a piece or a design and you feel like it's not worthy of posting or doesn't look that good, I think the followers would probably think the same in a way.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
your way of thinking kind of reflects on your work, to say the least. Yeah.
yeah.
So next, I wanted to ask you, what are your favorite movies or animes of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? It's super hard, to be honest. There's a bunch of movies. I love this movie called The Dark Knight. That's the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first movie I ever watched in the cinema, and I remember seeing Joker when I was like, what, 4 or 5 years old in the cinema, and I was like, this is crazy. This is nuts. And I still remember that exact moment in the cinema. It was on the release date. I think it was like 20. I don't even know when the movie came out. 2008,
Yeah,
and
2008, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
it came out then, and that's the first movie I watched, and super amazing. But other than that, I love watching movies. Like movies are definitely like the next thing I'm probably gonna be like releasing art on, because I feel like no one really does it on. No one really has shared art on that, and especially that I've not seen so far. Like and especially my style, I think it would go pretty like nicely with it. But another movie I love is Goodfellas. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
I
it's
haven't
really
seen it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, no, that's another amazing movie, and I love this other movie called Forrest Gump, and
Haven't seen that as well, but I want
it's a
to
great,
see it.
it's another movie called Good Will Hunting, and Godfather, obviously 1 and 2. Then the new one, like a modern movie, I'd probably say like Parasite, because that movie is just
Yeah, yeah,
that
that's
movie.
good.
That's pretty. But other than that, anime wise, to be honest, I haven't really watched that many. But I've seen would One Punch come, because that's the only one I've seen.
Oh, One
Like
Punch Man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think even though the second season was like great, but the first season is amazing. And to be honest, I haven't really seen any other.
Yeah.
Uh, I've seen Dragon Ball Z, but that was when I was a little kid, and I don't really remember those. And Naruto,
Mhm.
I've seen that, but I don't really remember those from like when I was a kid. But yeah, I'll probably just say that, just because I've watched it and I haven't watched that many, but I definitely need to watch more. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, lastly, what would be your advice for beginner designers or artists?
Honestly, just experiment, like try just everything, and you never know what you could come up with, and just look through loads of like art, and like don't stick to like one artist. I'd say, at the
Mhm.
start, I think I would scroll through the same book, and I wouldn't get that much inspiration. And then I started buying like loads of books. I went to like like I just went to bookstores and just bought loads of art books. And I think having like a wide range of inspiration, that you could look from is amazing. And it really develops like your style, and like it really shows what you can find out what you really like. And for example, the reason if you look at my page, I was doing like collages, and at one point, and I was like, I didn't really like doing them anymore, because I didn't really want to, what you call it, use too many pictures. And now, if
Mhm.
you see my work, it's very minimal. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's very, very minimal. And I'd use like for example, the Mac piece is only 3 pictures, but those 3 pictures are amazingly laid out. And that's what I really want to do. Continue doing, like, not just use that minimal work. And I think you will like discover that by obviously looking at different things, trying different things, and just that's what pretty much it.